Oh, forget it. Sound ain't working again. We tested it with Luke. He said it was working. So, Luke, you lied to me. You lied to me, Luke. That's what I said. It's too bad. For some reason, that didn't work. Hopefully, John's sound works. If not, I'm quitting the show today. That's how we're going to do that today. Not going to happen. So, hopefully, John's sound works. Is my sound? My sound's back. Okay, great. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why that didn't come. It's too bad because it was a damn good video and it was hilarious. Anyway, so today we're going to break a Star Wars scoop. We broke one on Friday. Thank you to comicbookmovie.com and Josh Wilding for getting that out there, because that's how the word was spread. Some other people tried to break it and say it was theirs, but it wasn't. It was ours. We got some other stuff here today, a big one, I think. We got John Roka on the show, who is known for dropping some stuff from time to time on his show, if more than time to time, almost every hot mic now. So we'll discuss that. There's a rumor that Ariana Grande is going to be on the new Matrix movie. Does that make sense? There's so many other things. There's box office news, tons of stuff. Andy Muschietti, I like the guy, but man, he's got to stop doing interviews. He's got to stop. His reasoning for why he said The Flash did poorly makes me really question whether or not this should be the guy to do Batman. It's a really, really silly comments. So we'll get into those. It's myself and John Roka today on the show. Thanks for being with us here today, guys. Let's get into it. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. Today, joining me on the show, as always, John Roka. What's up, John? How you doing?
Washington Commanders, that's how I'm doing, baby. On to take on the Detroit Lions this weekend. I'm excited. Thank you, man. What a good weekend of football. And I'm back here to talk about all this stuff. And yeah, let's get into Andy Muschietti at some point. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man, that was bad stuff. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all these different things that we have going on. You were going to drop this exclusive today with you and I, which I think you'll dig. And normally that's your game, but today I'm gonna do it with you. I said, all right. I wasn't sure how I was going to do this today, and I said, on Friday, the audience had donated a bunch of stuff, and we said, all right, look, we get to a certain number, we'll just drop one of them now. We did. So we dropped Ewan McGregor, Ariana Grande, and Hayden Christensen coming back to Ahsoka. Wow. That's going to be that makes sense if you think about it, right? When you have the that was probably the best part of Ahsoka when they did those flashbacks. People want to see Ewan back, so to see the three of them back together in that Clone Wars probably era, that's I don't know that is to be the case, but that just is what makes sense,
Yeah, and couple that with Rory McCann coming in to take Baylan Skoll, to take on the Baylan Skoll role. I think things are forming into shape, and we'll see what the end result's going to be. You got to validate Hayden coming back. Why is he coming back? I mean, it seemed like you wrapped up that story between them in that episode in season 1. So what will be the reason for him to come back in season 2? I'm be curious to see, but no surprise on McGregor and Ariana Grande. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, it's funny because that Rory one around. This is why I hold not only the Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Ariana Greenblatt one as kind of fact at this point. Same type of thing that I heard. I had heard that Rory went about 5 days before Snyder posted it. And then you have this, so we should just get into this. Okay. And we'll let people also know that you can start look. Roka had a hell of a week last week, but Winston and Coy wanted were there to thwart his.
I didn't get stuck in the fires, and I didn't have a scoop to post, so I did good considering. I did good.
Yeah. You did very good considering. All right. Speaking of which, by the way, and all jokes aside, I hope that everybody is doing well. The winds are getting worse. I saw this today that they're getting worse, and there's a chance for even more devastation. And it is so hard to do. And I know, John, you're in San Diego, so you're closer to it.
Yeah, it's tough.
But doesn't it feel like so helpless, being over on this side?
Yeah, I mean, I donated. We had a live show yesterday, Steve and I on the Cinephiles talking about it. Steve's there in Echo Park, like right in the thick of some of the stuff that's happening. Mike and Shannon took the week off because of the smoke inhalation. Shannon's been working at Universal, so he's breathing in some of the ashes and stuff. So it's just been a really tough situation. I have two friends who lost their homes completely, $1 million homes completely. Yeah. And it's just been heartbreaking from the outside to watch a city that and you and I lived in for 20 years, and to see the stuff that's happening to a lot of people, it is just heartbreaking and very, very sad. And to see it getting politicized on social media makes me even more heartbreaking. We should all be coming together to help a lot of people, because this town it isn't a bunch of rich people, man. It is
true. I'm so glad you said that, because the last time I can remember that happened, where it was like, oh, let's put politics aside for a second, was 9/11.
Yes.
Right? That was the last time that it was just like, I remember going, oh wow, they're not like, it's like everybody's kind of rightfully so holding hands, picking people up. This one, it's like, people are just trying to use it for political gain, and it's disgusting all the way around. All the way around, by the way. So
there's a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck in that town who are being destroyed by these fires, man. Yeah.
Oh, and the insurance and the way that it was shadily, there's so much to go into it. There's so much to go into it, but we won't do that. We're going to go into more the pop culture thing. So we're going to start off today. As I mentioned, we dropped this story on Friday, so we're going to drop one for you today. One of those things that I think, when we talked about the Jeremy Allen White thing, Rhoda the Hutt came up, and how much of a party he's going to have, and I think it's pretty significant as far as being part of the plot, from what I understand. And I think that there was a storyline kind of in the Clone Wars when he was a baby, that he was kidnapped and had to be rescued, and I think that they're doing it now as him as an adult. What it looks like is, it looks like Mando and Grogu are hired to rescue him, and whenever he's being held hostage, and then they're kind of like the good guys, and the bad guy is someone that even see people kind of guessing it in the comments below. And I'm going to play it. Eventually I'll get it. There he is, right here. EMBO is coming back.
Whoa.
He was voiced by Dave Filoni. He'll be voiced by Dave Filoni again. He is basically the big bad in this story, from what I'm hearing. And it looks like EMBO's the big bad, and him and Mando both going after Rhoda. Mando's trying to rescue him. EMBO's trying to kill him. That's the rumors. Well, I don't know, more than a rumor, I would tell you. But that's what it seems like. So EMBO is the one who's doing it. So he's for people who don't know, he's from the Clone Wars.
Yeah. And
Filoni voiced him. Filoni loves him. So it makes there's no shock that he's putting him in this one, or that he's going to be in this one. To put a bounty hunter, a new bounty hunter, could be really interesting. And I'll tell you what I like about it, even though it's essentially a Clone Wars episode come to life, right? Okay. And it's a TV show come to life. What I do like about it is the idea that it could be this small-ish adventure of just bounty hunter versus bounty hunter, rescue versus assassination attempt. Yeah. Nothing too grand. Make it a little bit more about the characters alone. Make it it's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Let it be that. Let us get some cute moments with Grogu, more moments with Mandalorian when he's actually the star of his movie, as opposed to he was kind of replaced in the third. And then you introduce this villain who some people in the comments section don't know who he is. It's for the animated fans. They do, but you introduce a brand new kind of scary villain to the audience, and it could be interesting. But I don't know. What do you think about this news, John?
Two thoughts. One, I like the idea of going back into the lore, into Clone Wars, and bringing this character out, because why wouldn't you? It's an Ahsoka show. It makes all the sense in the world to bring a character from Clone Wars in this, and the connections that EMBO has to the Hutt clans, because he worked for the Hutt clans. This is a guy that has worked with Boba Fett. This is a guy that was hired by Asajj Ventress to help break out Quinlan Vos. This is a guy who has been involved in a number of situations, fighting even Anakin Skywalker at some point, and then became a farmer after the Battle of Jakku, and where he went from there. So it's an interesting character to bring in, with a lot of connections to different parts of the Star Wars fandom. So it excites me on that end. But this is live action. So is it going to be like The Mandalorian, where it's a human body who is doing all the movements, but it's Filoni voicing him over?
Yeah, I would assume so. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, it's certainly not going to be Filoni in the costume running around.
I'm saying there's a little bit of ego in that Filoni's bringing back his character to be the big baddie, and he's going to voice it all when he's the showrunner.
Is it, or are they trying to save some cash?
Yeah, well, that's a fair point too.
You know what I mean?
That's a part of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to save some cash. Then it's like then it's like, hey, look, we want to bring in so and so. I voiced them in the show. I can voice him now. I won't get. He's got to get paid something for it, but not what you'd pay like a really big, huge actor, to do it. Yeah. And the character is cool. It was well received.
Yes, it was. And look, there's a history of it, right? Darth Vader. It was David Prowse who did the body, but it was James Earl Jones doing the voice. So since the history of the beginning of Star Wars, that's always happened. So
and the character, like I said, the character's well received. He likes them. Favreau loves bounty hunters in general. Yeah. So the idea that they probably figured this could be a cool, because this is just a bounty hunter story, is what it seems like. This movie's just going to be a rescue mission with, Jeremy Allen White playing Rhoda the Hutt, which is an interesting choice in general. But it looks like it's essentially a big Clone Wars episode turned into a movie, come to life in live action. Now, by first hearing that, you go, I don't know, maybe they could have left it as an animation series, but I don't know. I haven't seen what they've mapped out yet. They could make this character really exciting.
Do you like this though? I mean, for a movie, do you like this approach? Like, this feels like just an episode of a show that they're turning into a movie. It doesn't feel like it's going to have connective.
It feels like Moana too. It does, right?
Yeah.
It feels like Bob Iger said the same exact thing. He said, well, wait a minute, guys. We have, I don't think it's a coincidence if you look at it this way. He was looking for a big movie at the end of 2024. He goes, what are you guys doing? You doing a Moana series? Why? What are we going to do? Lose more money in streaming? Turn it into a movie. Turn it into a movie. You make $600 million on it or whatever you did. Right. Quality not as good, but it made money. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Then he says, okay, well, what are we doing with Star Wars? We don't have another movie. When's the next movie coming? Well, we think Patty Jenkins. Do we know? Well, not really. We think the Benioff and Weiss guys. Really? No, we don't know. Mangold's working on it. Okay, what do we actually have? Well, you got the Rey movie. Is that close? Not really. So what do we have? Well, Favreau just finished writing season 4 of Mandalorian. Turn it into a movie. I don't think it's a coincidence, dude. It's the only one ready to go.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Because it was done. It was done. It was season 4. And they said, okay, you know what? Your little half an hour episodes that you do, turn it into a full movie. and it was probably, the TV show was probably EMBO coming back as in the show in the same way that Cad Bane did.
Oh, yeah.
And this time they're like, okay, look, he was the main villain of the TV show. Do we make him a main villain in the movie? And he's a main villain in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Iger's like, no, filler episode. All right, put this all together and create a movie out of this. What's left? Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably 100% right. And look, Moana 2 is almost at $1 billion, so you can't argue his logic here.
No, it makes sense. I get why they're potentially doing it, and like I said, this is I trust my source here. That I think is where there's a lot of the same things that Jeff had heard that I heard, and this is is the same idea of look. The same thing goes for the Hayden, Ewan, and Ariana Greenblatt. I think that's going to happen also. Now, is this one of those things where you're like, oh my God, this is groundbreaking? No, but it could be interesting. It could be like, hey, when we heard this news that this EMBO was going to be the guy, we're like, they're going this small with it?
Yeah.
Maybe small's what they need.
Well, the selling point is not the villain. The selling point is Mandalorian and Grogu. So you make them the focus by not making anything around them bigger than they are. And so to me, that makes all logical sense,
Yeah, and I really do hope that they execute it well. I have faith in Favreau, though, man. I really do. I think the guy loves Star Wars. I think it's going to be the first one that actually has that old school feel to it since Rogue One. I think it's going to have that feel. I think that he really wants to make a strong, solid Star Wars movie. I like his approach inside of this. Originally, I thought that this was going to play into the whole Filoni saga movie that they were leading up to. It doesn't seem that way. I mean, because I don't know if the rumors are true or not, but there was that rumor that Kathleen Kennedy didn't want anything to do with Luke anymore and to leave him alone. But it's like, if you're going to make that decision, then don't bring him back in the first place, because you set him up in this way that you're like, well, yeah, okay, he's around. So what, now he just disappears off into the background?
Right.
And he says to Ahsoka, will I see you again? I don't know. It depends if Kathleen greenlights it.
And the technology is only getting better by leaps and bounds, Kristian. So bringing him back in that way, I think, could work. If you're not going to recast, you got to have him some way be a part of this thing. So it's a shame, man.
It is.
People need to let go. They need to let go, dude. They need to let go. Stop being so precious about these characters.
What do you think about Ewan but the three of them coming back, though? That makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I love it. It's good. It's good. You're adding good chemistry with these actors to be a part of it, and you're kind of helping the show be a little bit bigger, because the show's a little bit of a letdown, right? The first season was a bit of a letdown.
I thought so. Yeah, I liked it when it was funny. It was one of those kind of, I think I was kind of drinking the Kool-Aid for a little bit on it, because there were a few episodes that I watched. I was like, okay, I'm really into this. And there's one episode I was like, oh, I really like that episode, and then kind of did a rewatch on it. I was like, it's just not written that well, and I was like, there's so much more there that could be inside of this particular show that just wasn't there. And I'm hoping that 2 does that.
Yeah, the Ezra episodes where I turned around on it.
Yeah, apparently Hayden has more of a role in this one, but it makes sense if you know the way that they set it up at the very end. You see him off in the distance, and you can't not have Balin. So I'm glad that they recast here. That also makes sense. You had to. It was too big of a role, especially if they're on the same planet. Yeah.
But I also think you didn't cast someone that's going to take attention away from the leads. Like Rory McCann, I think, is going to do a solid job, but I don't think he's going to be like, it's going to be more like, I'm here doing my thing. I have my role to play in it.
Right.
But it's called Ahsoka.
And he's got that imposing, he can do that. He can do what Ray did, right? He can bring that kind of imposing figure, but still the wise teacher, the corrupted teacher, but not, like you said, you'll recognize him from Game of Thrones and go, oh yeah, that guy. But you won't be like, oh, star power. That's all I can see. Like, no, he's gonna. I think he was a great choice. He was a really great choice.
Yeah, I mean, he had that great chemistry with Arya in Game of Thrones. So yeah, I think he'll have that same kind of chemistry with Shin Hati. So why not?
All right, John, we're gonna get to this next question. You have 5 questions here. You got 5. Got to get to. We're gonna try to get to 100 by the time the.
I only have 5 right now. Wow.
Just now, we got to see. But to be fair, Winston and Coy only had like 35 going into the questions on Friday. So we'll see. All right, I want to get to this one because you and I have to talk about this. We got to talk about this. This is something.
Boy.
This is something. This is Luke sent this to me today, and he said, "Did you see Muschietti's comments on why the Flash didn't do well?" And I said, "Oh, what did he say?" And really said, "Why Andy Muschietti blaming filmgoers for the 2023 movie failing?" This is what they said, but they're probably just agreeing with what we're about to say. Also, the Flash director Andy Muschietti recently pointed the finger at certain members of the 4 quadrants of the audience for the movie being a failure. This comments don't add up. He said it took Warner Brothers the better part of a decade to get the Flash up and running after losing multiple writers and directors. Andy Muschietti seemed like a good fit for the job. He had excitement, yada, yada, yada. Originally, plans called for the movie to set the stage for Crisis on Infinite Earths, with Affleck's Dark Knight trapped in another reality and Keaton replacing him in the DCEU. Cavill's Man of Steel was supposed to be in it, yada, yada, yada. So this was the comments, I believe. It said, I think failed in the sense that it didn't appeal to all 4 quadrants of the audience. When a $200 million movie is made, the studio expects to bring everyone, even your grandmother, to the theater. And in private conversation later on, I learned things like a lot of people weren't interested in the Flash as a character. Half of those 4 quadrants, the 2 female quadrants, many women didn't care about the Flash as a character. These are the things that worked against the movie, and I gradually found out about them, and I'm very happy with the movie, and I highly recommend it. Those are the comments, and then they get into it more as far as why they don't make sense, and I agree with them. This is a very silly comment. He blamed it on look, there's a lot of different things that went into it. I'm not going to dispute that the drama behind it didn't help. There were a lot of things around it with the star of the film that maybe the star of the film wasn't at the time a big draw to women, considering that there's video of them throwing a woman on the floor. So that probably didn't go over with women. So that's fair, but that's not the Flash. that's Ezra Miller. And like I said, I don't even think that necessarily, when we discussed it when this thing was going on, the mainstream audience wasn't as aware of the situation as they thought it was. Inside the movie space, it was a massive story. It was a huge story. But this is, I just wish that the potential director of the new Batman film would say, look, we took some swings. There were things that we did that just didn't work. There was stuff that we were happy with that didn't land with the audience. At first, I thought maybe that CGI did play, but after hearing feedback, it didn't work. The ending, we tried to do some stuff with, and after hearing the feedback, it didn't work. But we're going to pay attention to other things going on and seeing what we can do, and we're going to push forward. Like, honesty. Come on, man. Pointing fingers. Oh, yeah, it's them. They didn't like it, and I didn't find out until later. So that's why. Well, guess what? Not everybody liked Iron Man when Iron Man was everyone was like, why are you making an Iron Man movie? But you know why it did well, John? Because it was good.
Yeah.
And people could relate to it, and people loved it, and it caught on. These are really bad. Not just, these are bad comments by Muschietti. Really bad. I don't know how you feel.
There's a lot of ways to parse these comments. First of all, they're being translated from Spanish to English. So is anything lost in the translation? But it seems like probably not. It's very clear where he's going on this. Second thing is this. He is doing a bit of brand saving here for his own career. Because earlier, I think a few days ago, he's got some sci-fi film and he's like, I won't do it unless they can give me $200 million. And I deserve to get $200 million to make this movie. So there's a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a slight bit of arrogance and hubris about himself.
I think he's on the ropes, dude. I think he's on the ropes.
I think so, career-wise, yeah. And I've said, in my opinion, what I've heard is he was moved off Brave and the Bold almost immediately after the Flash's box offices were coming, results were coming in. I stand by that. I've not heard anything to contradict that from my source yet, and so that's what I believe. And so when you look at these comments in that context, it almost feels like Andy knows he's out. So he's going to say whatever the hell he really believes. And for him, he's like, well, I've got to think about my career going forward because I'm probably not going to do more in the James Gunn universe. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, it wasn't my fault. The Flash wasn't my fault. It was the fans' fault. It was these two quadrants of women not gravitating. Saying that a character like the Flash is not popular when that series ran for 9 seasons on CW. It's one of the most beloved characters in the DCU. I got Flashpoint behind me. Like, people love the Flash, love the world of the Flash. James Gunn just did a connective tissue with Gorilla Grodd in Creature Commandos, working with the princess. Like, the world of Flash is very beloved by the comic book readers if you do a good movie. And I agree with you. I think he should have said there's just a lot of factors that went into it. We did our best. We worked really hard to deliver a good movie. It just didn't connect with a lot of people, and I take the responsibility for that. But I hope people understand there's a lot of stuff that went around it and will give me another chance when I direct another movie again to like the stuff I do. That's the way you do it. You lean into it. You take some responsibility. You don't take the full responsibility, and you ask people to give you another chance. And to me, this smacks of hubris, and this also smacks of DGAFness because he knows he's probably out with James Gunn's DCU. So insulting a DCU character just doesn't make any sense to me on so many levels.
I think he should be out regardless. I like Andy Muschietti. I think he's a really good director. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the new It series. He just doesn't seem like the guy right now to be doing Batman, especially with these comments. You got to, I mean, like, look, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, and the other idea when he said, you know, oh, I found out after I was behind closed doors they don't like Flash. Don't you find that out before you make the movie?
Also, who the hell are you talking to? What idiots are you talking to?
Well, I found out from a few people that Flash isn't really that popular. Then why did you sign up to do the movie? Why did you sign up to the movie if you didn't think that you could make him popular? If you didn't think that if your movie was good enough to make him popular, that's the kind of director I want. Not as someone, well, sure shot. Oh, okay. Well, all right, Phil Jackson, you got Pippen and Jordan. Oh, I'm going to win a championship. No shit. You got Batman. I got Batman. I'm going to wake. People are going to come see my movie because I have Batman. It's not that easy, buddy.
What if Brave and the Bold comes out and it's terrible? What's he going to do? Is he going to shit on
Batman? Right. No, he's going to blame the no one wanted to see an evil Robin or not an evil Robin, whatever, you know, a delinquent Robin. They wanted to see regular Robin. And and they wanted to see the Joker. They didn't want to see the story that they gave me. It's like, what's he going to do? He's going to blame everybody?
That's a bad trait to have in Hollywood, is blaming everyone around you. It's
No, take it on the chin. I would have had so much more respect for him if he was just like, look, I like the CGI, but everyone else didn't. You know, you can like it if he's the director, because remember that the excuse he gave last time, like, oh, that was the look we were going for.
Yeah.
Boo! You shouldn't have.
Well,
you shouldn't have.
Look, the It movie was good, but the Chapter 2 movie was a little bit of a mess. The Flash was.
I don't blame him though. I don't blame Part 2 on him though, because remember Part 2 when we were kids. Part 2 of the book just isn't as good, and it's like Part 2 of them. Yeah, I don't blame him for that as much.
Just saying, those 2 movies back to back, those aren't
still track record. It's still a track record. You're not wrong.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with the TV show when it comes out and if it's good or not. But I will also say this, and I'll say this culturally, because I am the son of South Americans. He is Argentinian, and there is a hubris within our people in South America, and certainly that Andy has a little bit of that coming forward when he speaks about himself and about his thing. So he is very much a guy who believes in himself very strongly. Not a negative trait to have in Hollywood, but when it comes out in interviews like this in a certain way, it can backfire on you. So I think
totally can. Well, you know where it can backfire, John, is with the fans.
Yeah,
that's where it can backfire. Yeah, it can totally backfire with the fans, because from everything I hear about it, people love working with him.
Yes.
Actors love working with him. Executives love working with him. People really like the guy. I haven't heard a bad thing about his personality. Like ever. Quite the contrary. I heard nothing but great things about the guy.
I agree.
And I bet she's a great human being from what I hear. But if I'm one of the people who thinks he's a great human being, I'm calling him. I'm going, dude, stop.
Yeah, I'm sure his wife called him and was like, "What are you doing?"
Or James Gunn, say, "Hey, what are we doing here?" Because the other thing he said not too long ago is, "I haven't spoken to James Gunn since he started shooting Superman," and yet you're making claims like, "Oh yeah, Batman, it did get pushed. Oh yeah, it's not going to be part of the DC or the other one." How do you know? Who are you talking to?
Yeah,
I'm talking to other people. Who? Not James Gunn, apparently.
Yeah.
So it's like he's saying all these contradictory things that you're like, what are you doing here, buddy? I don't get it.
I hope his sister's his producing partner. Oh, she called him up and like, ¿Qué estás haciendo? What are you doing?
You got to stop. You got to stop, because it's not going over well with the audience, because I'm telling you, when the text I got this morning was, did you see his comments? I'm like, oh no. And I say that because I'm like, it's like when you and Mike tweet. It's the same way that I feel. I'm like, oh no, what'd they do now? I'm like, what'd they do now?
Don't make me push back on you. Go ahead.
What, tweets? You're not as, I guess Mike's worse, but still, it's a lot. But you do have to, you go, oh, what'd they say now? But that's how it is. Like when he's like, and Muschiett's in that category for me, like, oh no, what did he do? No.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand it. Well, I understand it, but I don't see why he did it.
Well, there's a lot more to discuss. There's a lot more to talk about. And we're going to get to that. I know that you guys have very strong opinions on all of it. So I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure you tell us exactly what you think about Muschietti's comments. What do you think in general about the things that we've been discussing thus far? All right, before we move on, I can't even tell you how many times I've told you about AG1. AG1 is the best. It is part of my routine every single day. I absolutely love it. This new year just started. You got to try AG1 for yourself. It is the perfect time to start a new healthy habit. I've been partnered with AG1 forever. I mean, for as long as I've started this show, they've been with us. You guys know that. AG1 is offering new subscribers free $76 gift when you sign up. You get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. You got to make sure you go to drinkag1.com/bigthing to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/bigthing. And you start your new year out on a healthier note. If you want to set some new year goals, for me, that's what I did, and I'm already feeling good. I get some good energy on it. It makes me feel healthy, and AG1 supports that. When I drink AG1 in the morning, I know I'm starting my day off right. I get good sleep quality. It is the best. So make sure you go and you check it out. You are going to appreciate it. I promise you. A lot of people asked me the other day, said, hey, you still with AG1? I said, hell yeah, I'm with AG1. AG1 is the best. So go and check out AG1. The other one that I got to tell you about, hey, Mando. That's right. Mando is also back. I love me some Mando. Mando is just to me, it's talk about something I use every day. It is just whole body deodorant. It is safe to use anywhere on your body, and not just on your pits, on your nuts, on your thigh folds, on your belly buttons, on your butt crack, anywhere. It is created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day long and control odor for up to 72 hours. I love Mando. It's got a solid deodorant stick. It's got spray deodorant. All the products, baking soda free, and it is paraben free. You can choose from a variety of fresh scents: bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap. I'm telling you, you are going to love it. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor now, 0 out of 10. So you want to get that Mando starter pack. It's perfect for the new customer. It comes with a solid stick deodorant. It's got a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, mini body wash, deodorant wipes, and free shipping. But special offer for our listeners. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. You got to use that code Christian at shopmando.com. That's right, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. You got to smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to head with Mando. Hey, Mando. You use Mando, John? What do you use?
All the time. It's great. I love
it. I told Winston about it. I don't know. Winston actually knew about it before I did.
Did
and
he? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did. He said he used the bourbon leather one, but it's really good. And for a long time, I remember my wife was telling me forever, so you got to use the deodorants that don't have that freaking aluminum and all that stuff to it. And this is the option. Anyway, let's get into some more stories because we got more. And I've been mentioning it on this show like every day. I keep getting I can't get the Wicked soundtrack out of my head because it plays all day long.
Right.
My daughter plays it like religiously, like it just in the car, all over the place. So Ariana Grande is everywhere now, right? And so now there's rumors with her. There's rumors with Cynthia Erivo. What's your thoughts on Cynthia Erivo as Storm, by the way?
I like the idea.
Nobody has been enthusiastic about this. Anyone that I've asked.
She's incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And I could see her in the sky commanding the forces of nature. That'd be super badass. I don't know if I see the other aspect where they want to go, which is the rumors with her having a romantic connection with Black Panther. So are they going to open the door to that? I don't know. But I certainly like her more than Halle Berry.
Yes. Yeah, more of a feel. Well, I'm telling you, I think the one that's been rumored, you know what's so funny?
There's a lot of good Black actresses. Yeah.
Jodie Turner-Smith has been mentioned. You know what's so funny about that? I only know her. I mean, she's in that show with the agency with Fassbender and obviously she was in The Acolyte. But
yes,
I didn't even put it together, dude, that she was in Bad Monkey.
Yes, she was the Jamaican princess.
She's arguably one of the best characters in that show.
100%. And what happens to her was
I didn't see the end.
Okay, all right.
But she cool. I liked her way better in that I did in The Acolyte. And she wasn't bad in The Acolyte. It was just the show itself. But I was like, I could see her as Storm.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Ariana Grande obviously also being rumored to be in tons of stuff. And so here's another one that she is rumored to be in. And that is the new Matrix. I mean, we just had Will Smith. Now they transfer. It's not Will Smith anymore. Now it's Ariana Grande. So she's rumored for the next Matrix. Okay. Last Easter came the news that the Matrix scribe Drew Goddard had been set to direct a new Matrix film for Warner Brothers. The project would mark the first one not directed by either one of the Wachowskis, though Lana will remain involved as an executive producer. It's also not clear the nature of the project, be it a reboot, spinoff, something else, and there's currently no word on whether any of the original stars will return. Now, Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello, is reporting that one interesting rumor that has cropped up, that singer and Wicked actress Ariana Grande is being eyed for a leading role in the film. In the wake of much acclaim for her work on Wicked, Grande has expressed interest in further acting roles, even so jumping from a lavish musical to an action sci-fi temple is a big leap. The franchise made headlines the other week. Is the Will Smith stuff? What does it mean? Unclear. Yada yada yada. Okay. So as far as her being, is she room for it? Did she have meetings for it? Of course she did. She's probably having meetings for everything.
Sure.
Right now, that's what happens when you're in a big hit movie. And I know you and I are on the opposite side. I think she was the standout of Wicked. I think she, to me, was the one where you're like, whoa, who knows she had that in her? I knew Cynthia Erivo could sing. She's a Broadway actress, and I knew Ariana could sing, but I didn't know that Ariana had those the comedy ability that she did. And people are like, well, you didn't watch her on Nickelodeon? No, it passed me. I didn't see that show. I don't even know what the hell that is until this morning when my daughter started watching it. But I think that Ariana Grande is very, very talented. I don't know, if she did comedy, maybe she can do action. She's the same thing I say, though, was what we just said about Cynthia Erivo, though. She's little.
Yeah.
She's little. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Depends on what the role is, because there's the difference between like Storm. We have an idea of who Storm is. I don't know what the role is. I mean, maybe it's a Neo type role, and maybe you don't. It's the Matrix, so you can do whatever the hell you need to do inside of it, and maybe she finds a way to be. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith I thought was really good in the Matrix movies, and she's little too. So I could see Ariana Grande in Matrix. You don't agree?
No, I don't. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't think that makes sense, to be honest with you. Business-wise, I can see why it makes sense. She's hot right now. Your franchise isn't that strong after 3 middling installments. I don't care what anyone says. Revolutions Reloaded and whatever the hell that last one weren't good overall. Good performances from Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss, but not good overall, like the first movie. So this would be an interesting decision. I can see why you want to attach her to it, because he brings a lot of eyes to it. Maybe you're rebooting in a certain way and you're going with a female lead. Could be interesting. But I don't know if I see that level of chops in Ariana. Yes, I liked her in Wicked, but that's her wheelhouse. She had wanted to be in Wicked since she was 10 years old. So she knew that role backwards and forwards since she was a child.
But she accomplished it, though.
Yes, 100%. But I don't know if I see that. This is such a jump for her, as My Time to Shine Hello points out correctly. I'm at this point, I'm not convinced that it's the right move creatively, although it might be the right move business wise.
Yeah. See, I think that you can say that about both roles, business wise, it makes sense for whether it's Storm or this role. I just, again, think the difference is I don't know what this role is. So I don't know if she can pull it off or not. If it's we
don't even know if she's the lead. If she's playing like Carrie-Anne Moss instead of
I don't know. We don't know what it is. So the idea that she just offered a role in it or has some kind of role, a bigger role, maybe Goddard is writing something that is perfect for her. So I'm not willing to say that she's not right for it because I don't know the role. I can't compare it. It's like oh, she's gonna play Red Sonja. I'm like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like this, I should think we play Red Sonja, but but this maybe. But I will tell you that she's not the one under the spotlight right now. The Matrix has one shot left. All right, they're approaching Terminator status here.
Yeah,
because nobody wants to see another Terminator. Nobody wants to see another Indiana Jones, except me on both of those. But I understand that I'm in only because I want to see until I'll watch things until they're beaten into the ground over and over and over again because I'm always hoping. I'm always hoping that they're going to get one good because you're hoping this is going to be Fast and Furious 5 and not Terminator. You know what I mean? Like they can meaning not in the same vibe, but meaning that they can turn the franchise around with one movie.
Yeah.
And I hope that's what the Matrix does because it's got the opportunity. It's got the juice to do it. And Drew Goddard is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just glad the Wachowskis have been moved off of it because it wasn't working with them anymore.
Well, but you got one still producing.
They had one good movie, but they didn't direct 3 subsequently good movies. So I'm excited that they're being moved off it.
Well, either way, I mean, because I still want to see how the rest of the cast. I do like that we're getting more information about it. I like that there's more information coming out about the Matrix because it means it's more real. So,
right.
All right. Next one is box office, and you see the box office there. Den of Thieves 2.
Hey,
which John, did you see it?
I have not seen it. No, I'm going this week.
Yeah,
did you like it?
I didn't see. I missed it.
Oh, okay.
I am going to see Wolfman tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. Look, Mufasa making another second place. What does Mufasa have so far? Mufasa has
10 billion.
539 worldwide so far. Wow. Yeah. That was a huge comeback. And what about Sonic? I bet Sonic's 350, right? No, 384. That's good. Sonic 380. I'll tell you, was really adorable. I'm so glad. Like I will say one of the main reasons that we moved from LA to New York is that my oldest just wasn't digging LA. Right, the school just wasn't the best for her. She's loving New York now. She's got friends, and we went to I took her and a friend to see Wicked, and it was because I think one of the things that there was the crew she was running with beforehand was 12 years old thinking they're 19 in the way that they were talking and everything. So I'm like, man, just be kids, right? I was so happy. I was driving the two of them to the movie theater, and her new friend was like, dude, you see Sonic 3? I watched Sonic so many different times, and they were talking about Sonic and the lyrics of Wicked and the Broadway plays. And I'm like, it's kids being kids, you know what I mean? And I was like, it was so refreshing to hear. So I was like, I was happy with that, but I bring that up just because you see Sonic, and there's still people anyone who saw Sonic loved Sonic 3. Great, really good movie. And it did decent, 380 or whatever it is, pretty damn good. What's this movie? Oh no, Nosferatu. Okay, Nosferatu is the next one, and that's 135 worldwide. But
that's crazy.
It's really good considering. What did that movie cost? $20 million to make?
Probably, yeah.
40, maybe 40. I don't know. And then after that, what do you got? Moana 2. We just mentioned it. It's almost. Oh my god, dude, you were right, man.
Almost at $1
Holy
billion.
crap, you were right, dude. I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That movie almost made $1 billion.
It's gonna cross it. It absolutely will cross it.
Yeah. I mean, it just holy moly. I did not know that. That's so. I mean, look, slower weekend overall.
Yeah.
But you got Den of Thieves 2. People like that. Every time I said that I was going to see the first one, like, oh man, that first one was really good. That's why I didn't see the second one. I tell you that.
No,
I didn't get a chance to see the first. I was going to try to watch it before I left. I never got to it.
Gotcha.
Do you want to know? I'm so pissed off, dude. I haven't talked about this on the air. I just talked about it in comments. Because you run your own shit too, that tech stuff could be the absolute worst.
Yes.
It drives you bananas. So we just released our Winter Soldier reaction, me and Sam. People loved it, right? They loved it. So right after on Friday, she came in and we watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was the best reaction so far, hands down. She loves Rocket. She was laughing her ass off the whole time. Like, oh man, this is great. Yeah. You get to the very end of the movie, right after the dance off, and I see a QuickTime notification that says this file has been corrupted.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what? And I said, hold on a second. And I paused it. And I said, let me check. And I'm opening up 30 different ways. Nothing. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. So we watched the end of the movie after Ronan is gone. And it's just like, it's basically like 7 minutes of the movie. It's like 7 or 8 minutes of the movie, maybe. And then I was just like, all right, I'll just have Sam do her review, because what I won't do, and I said this as much in the thing, I will not fake it. I will not fake it. I'm not going to like do like let's record it again and pretend we're watching it the first time. It's like, that takes away the whole entire reason that we're doing this. Because I saw some ball bag on ice on a comment on the Winter Soldier. He's just like,
well, the guy who's been doing this forever, first time ever watching it, I don't buy it.
And I said, if you watch this video, I open up every fucking video saying this is Sam's first time watching. And he's like, well, it's clickbait then. I was like, how? Yeah. It's her first time watching. So what I don't want to do is prove that guy right and then record it, and it's not her first time watching it. I can't. So we got to take the hit on that. And it'll come out. The editors already edited it. Took the easiest edit job they've ever had to do. And it'll be up. So
nice. I'm sorry.
That's it. It sucks.
We all lose an episode, man. We all lose.
We're on such a momentum now too, because she's gonna lose her too. When Infinity War comes on, she's gonna lose her mind.
Oh, probably.
She's gonna lose her mind. She didn't even know. She had no idea. You gotta remember, someone wrote in the comments like, how did she not know Bucky? It's been 10 years. I'm like, she's not in this world.
Yeah.
She didn't know who Bucky was.
Yeah.
She's not in this world. She like when Bucky was revealed, she's like, that's his friend. And I was like, it's the best. It was like watching it with someone. It's been one of my favorite things I've ever done since doing this as a career, because it's like I'm literally feel like I'm watching it for the first time again, because she's experienced all of it. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
And people love her. She's absolutely hilarious. I wish I could get the audio working on that Big Balls video. But
was that? Yeah,
it was, because I John, what? Luke, I know I gotta blame.
Don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it.
I'm not going to do it. Listen,
right now.
I'm not going to put it on you. I want to apologize. Hey, I want to apologize. Listen to me. I want to say I'm sorry.
No.
You're not going to forgive me?
No.
Forgive me.
No.
Come on, Roka.
No.
I'll play dead. Look, I'll play dead. Come on. If I stay over here on my side.
I'm going to cut your little nuts off.
No. Come on, I'm sorry. Come on. I think you're the greatest Schmodown player of all time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next to Dan Merle.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine. Bye.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not doing it. I told you.
He won't put it on your face.
I rarely put my foot down with you. You know that. That one, that's the
you won't even talk to him? No?
That's the ball's too far. That's the ball too far.
He wore his good walk. You used to vibe with him, but then he dragged his balls on your head, and that was it.
Too much. I do. You don't do that to me.
It was too much. So good. All right, let's see. There's some more stories of it.
Do we?
You're already building up on the questions. You already got like close to 20 questions already.
20. Right.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's really good. Going into the question round. Hell yeah. All right, so let's see. There's any other big stories that we need to discuss here today?
I don't know. Is there anything else?
Daredevil trailer absence sets MCU TV record. I don't know what that means. I don't think I care. Fire delays produce. I told him. I said this. There's more delays on the because of the fires, right? As far as nominations go and other things,
right.
And I don't know when Critics' Choice said they're moving it again too. I haven't gotten another notification, but
it moved to 26th, but they might move it again. Is that what you're
that's what I'm saying? No, I don't know if they're going to move it again, but you would assume after today's news that the fires are still getting worse. It's like, don't. What you need to do is everybody from Critics' Choice to Academy Award nominations, we are suspending everything indefinitely until we have more word. Don't give me, because what you don't want to keep doing is like, we'll be back on February 1st. We'll be back on February 15th. We'll be back on February 20th. Don't do that. Just say when we have more information, people will understand.
Yeah.
It's
understanding of these situations.
Yeah. And look, I get it. It's easier said than done though, too, because they got to book the venue for that time. They got to make sure for Critics' Choice Awards, that is, they got to make sure that they have the right weekend. And they're probably in the shambles trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But I mean, like I said, everybody's going to understand. It's one of these things that, what also might happen because of this is they might wind up doing either in another state or virtual.
Yeah.
Is what, right? Because LA, dude, it's like, it's real bad right now. Like real bad. Like again, today, the winds are picking up again.
Yeah. Well, look at the whole situation. And that's what frustrates me is these venues also need to be a little more understanding as well. And I get it. We need to book stuff to stay alive, to make money and all that stuff. But like, this is so unusual. And there must be some kind of program set up for venues that are losing business to the fires to apply for some semblance of a loan or some way to recoup some of that loss. Because I mean, I think Newsom is a pro-business governor. So, I mean, I think he'd want to help the whole situation out here and put that in motion. So, this is, to me, this is what I think is unrealistic, is that everyone's so worried about trying to lock this stuff down. Everyone's trying so desperately to return to normal that they're endangering this situation even more. And they're messing with people's schedules and messing with and it seems disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't understand the logic behind all of this stuff. Just wait. Everybody chill out and wait.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, to be fair,
down next week.
I know, but to be fair, the initial wave of it, I mean, John, you and I lived there long enough.
Yeah.
Every year fires happen. Every year.
True. Fires happen every year. Yes.
Every year. So they get to, and you would think, okay, usually what happens is after about a week or so, they get them contained and then we can start movies. I understand the logic behind it.
Right.
I do. Right. But this ain't like it used to be. This is something entirely from 1,000. It was like 1,000 acres was like the biggest fire before this. And it's like 32,000 or some shit or more at this point. It's like, I mean, I'm sitting there every night, trying to comfort my poor wife, who's also feels helpless because her family's there. This is places that she lived and visited all of her life. The Palisades, she lived there. She lived in Palisades for a full year. And you mentioned beforehand, I have a very close friend. His entire place burnt to the ground. It's like it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I mean, there's more. The death count is going up. So it's like it is just in a place right now that they should just say, we don't know, and everyone else would say, okay.
Because who gives
who cares?
Awards.
Who cares?
And people are losing their homes, man.
Yeah,
people
no one cares.
Dying. Yeah. And these the landmarks are getting burnt down to the ground. Will Rogers' house, all these beautiful landmarks that were a signature of LA have burnt to the ground. And so nobody cares about you getting a gold trinket. No.
It's like this. I think, and look, and how much I love the Critics' Choice Awards. I think they're the most relevant of them. I think you got to cancel them at this point, or move them to another city, or move them to another city.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even then, I don't know. Anybody's going to want to celebrate. Who's going to want to celebrate right now?
Right.
You said it, or just do it virtual. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
how many of these actors really want to celebrate? That's a good point.
That's what I mean. Who's going to want to do that right now? So I don't know. Anyway, put your thoughts in there, guys. Tell us exactly what you think. We're going to do one more story here. Some of the rumors that are out there. And then we're going to get to your questions. So throw them in there for John. He's at 21 right now. He's trying to set the week, trying to beat Winston and Coy this week. It seems like that's his biggest rival, Winston and Coy. He's always number 2 when there was number 1. But here is the stuff right now. Let's get to it. This is a rumor, couple rumors, and that's Jurassic, Furious, and Assassins TV rumors. Okay. So my time to shine. Hello. I feel like there's like 4 scoopers now that are just like dominating the news. It's like my time to shine. Hello, Daniel RPK, who's on my poop list right now, and Jeff Schneider and John Roka have published a report this weekend, and this is indicating that multiple TV series are in the works and based on 3 well-known IP: Assassin's Creed, Jurassic World, and Fast and the Furious. Netflix has long passed a live-action TV series based on the Assassin's Creed franchise, with Jeb Stewart attached as a showrunner several years ago. The new report suggests an anime series is also in development, and both it and the live-action series will tell brand new stories that won't adapt the games. Why? Adapt the friggin' games. You got the stories right in front of your faces. I don't get it. Thus, dividing the franchise is notably confusing lore, along with introducing new characters and settings. Who cares? The report also claims Universal is developing shows based on the Jurassic World and Fast and Furious franchise, with plans to release them through its Peacock streaming service. Both those franchises have been adapted to TV. Okay, none of these potential new TV shows have been officially announced. Okay, so out of those 3. At first I was going to go, yeah, makes a lot of sense. It's Assassin's Creed, make it a TV show. All video games should adapt their long form stories that they have into TV shows, but it's not going to be based on anything that the fans loved. They were going to make our own new one. That worked so well in the past. What are you doing? Did you take no notes from Last of Us? It's like you thought, like a lot of times, John, what always happens? Something happens where something gets really popular and then everybody tries to copy it.
Yeah.
But the time that it actually works, and a video game goes, you know what? For the most part, we're going to adapt this game that everybody loved as a TV show and stay true to about 80% of it. And then we're going to, you know, have to, for creative reasons, we're going to have to make our own stuff up.
Yeah.
And everybody else goes, oh, I love that you did that. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to do an Uncharted movie that does, I mean, that came out first, but still, there's like, Uncharted should be a TV show that follows the actual games. There should be all these different ones. So I actually care about that one the less out of all of them. Yeah. I think Universal on Peacock doing these two IPs makes sense because they don't have shit on that Peacock. They don't have a lot. Then those are two big properties that you could do. The question is, do you get Vin Diesel to be in any of them to help spin it off? And then Jurassic World, depending on how this movie is, from what I hear about this Jurassic World movie, we're just going back to monsters again. Yeah. And I think that's a bad choice, but I understand the logic behind it. What do you think about the logic of doing all of these shows?
Well, are they going to be live action? Is that what you said, or anime?
That's what it says. The only one that's going to be, there's going to be a anime for Assassin's Creed that also but it goes with the live action that they're going to do.
Right. The anime for Assassin's Creed makes a lot of sense in the world because it's about to come out. The samurai version is about to come out in February, so looking forward to that. And there's been a desire to convert stuff into anime. We saw essentially that the war for the Rohirrim was essentially an anime type version of the Lord of the Rings. So I get that. People are into anime now, and it's becoming more and more pop culture, kind of like this South Korean stuff we see with Squid Game and what have you. So I get it. But live action, I'm very concerned about where you go with a Jurassic World live action. Especially with how those recent movies were received. Yes, I know they made a lot of money, but they were creatively vapid. And then you look at Fast and Furious. I mean, that's just really trying to shave the last piece of meat off a rib bone. Where are you going to go with that? And as you said, is Vin Diesel going to be like a recurring character? And I get it. You want to go young, and maybe you're thinking, well, we'll launch it young here on the TV show, and if it becomes a hit, then we'll launch that into the theatrical world by using the same actors and characters, and then Vin can have a bigger role and what have you. So I see the logic behind it. I don't know that there's much juice to squeeze out of the Fast and Furious anymore, so I don't know about all that. But the other one, the Assassin's Creed one, that's exciting because a lot of people don't know about Assassin's Creed. That don't play the video game, and that first movie was terrible. So I'm into that much more than the other two.
I mean, the Assassin's Creed, as long as, it depends on who's writing the story. It just depends on who's writing the story because the movie they did was an abomination. I like the other ideas for Jurassic World and Fast 5. Again, it depends on who the showrunner is and where they go from the next movies.
Right.
Like, you got to see how these next two movies pan out. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is something that they should do? Any one of these? Do you not care? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. All right, we're going to get to your questions. And before we do, John's got a lot going on in his channel. John, what do you got going on in the channel?
Yeah, head on over there. YouTube.com/John Roka says we've got a new episode of the Geek Buddies dropping around 1 o'clock today, talking about catching up on all the stuff that happened last week, because of course we took the most of the week off with the fires and everything, let the boys rest. We're going to review Skeleton Crew and Creature Commandos as well. We'll definitely have the finale of Skeleton Crew this week, so we'll have a Jedi Way review, a Geek Buddies review. That'll be on there. And if you missed the most recent episode of the Hot Mic, Jeff and I broke a couple of stories and had some pretty good fun talking about a lot of the topics we talk about going on in the world of entertainment. That's up there for you all to enjoy as well. And then my reviews and reactions coursing throughout this week as well. So head on over there and let's have some fun. And I'm close to 40,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. That's good for you. That's awesome. And then did you, by the way, when it came to Skeleton Crew, and I asked this seriously, how are those videos doing for you? Because the show's doing so poorly on Disney Plus. I'm curious how.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh,
it started off. The initial reports were that it was even lower than the Acolyte, right? But then over the holidays it saw a boost, but it's still not doing very well. It got a boost overall from what it debuted at, but during the holidays. But people are starting to talk a little bit more, so it's been. That's the beauty of streaming, is that people your ratings can go up, and it still could be, but from overall it's a pretty big disappointment as far as ratings go, not as far as everyone who's watching it seems to really dig it. But how about for you, is it something that's performing?
It's pretty standard performance for the reviews of any of the Star Wars show we do. It's not vacillating higher or lower than in a significant way. So I think people like hearing us talk about
it. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The first one here that we got is from Matt Sinister McCall, starting us all off. Is, are you excited for Mel's resurrection of Christ? I'm going to answer for John. He's going to say no. I actually do want to see it. I liked the first one. It was brutal. I'm curious how he's gonna do the second one. But so yeah, I am interested in it. But John, I assume you're not.
I am a Christian. I'm a lapsed Catholic because I don't go to church and don't believe in religion anymore, but I believe in God and Jesus Christ. And I loved The Passion of the Christ. Okay. I think it's an incredible film. I saw it 4 or 5 times in theaters because for once they told the story without trying to minimize the violence that is talked about in the Bible that was visited upon Christ when he was captured. So I liked that they approached that. I didn't think it was torture porn. I pushed back on that very hard. And so the resurrection of Christ, I think if Gibson hadn't opened his mouth about a lot of things, and especially recently on the Rogan podcast saying a bunch of stupid shit, I'd be much more excited. But Caviezel's coming back, who's also a bit on the nuts side. So it's a shame for me. I would like to be excited. That being said, if the trailer looks great, I will go see it. So, that's my feeling on it.
Fair enough. All right, let's see. Darren Wright. First message here in a long time. Thank you, Darren. Want to say thank you for all your years of entertainment Christian and friends have provided me. Love this community, all of you. That's very nice, Darren. Thank you for coming back. Glad to have you back, my friend. That's very kind of you. And I'm also very proud of the community that we've kind of built over here. So thank you very much. Next one is Go Pal. Congrats, Roka, on the football team's playoff win. You got to be excited about that one, John.
Come on, doinking it in. Take it however we can get it. Come on.
I understand. All right. Next one. Go Giants. Don't touch me. I'm crazy. Further alienating general audiences. Sick of Filoni verse. I mean, I think that's what John was kind of hinting on, right? It's like, but this is my pushback to that. It's only alienating if it makes you feel lost, because you look at Kalinowski was fairly lost after watching Ahsoka because it was a spinoff to Rebels, and he was like, I don't really know anymore what's going on. I'm not as invested anymore, right? If they can make this just seem like a full-on Star Wars film with a new bounty hunter that you don't have to watch Clone Wars to know who he is, then I think it could work.
We'll see. I think Sick of the Filoniverse is essentially saying Filoni's approach to all this stuff, and so I think you and I have spoken about how much Filoni needs to pull back on his points, but this is his baby. So what are you going to do? It's his baby.
Ewok, as a lifelong Star Wars fan, I can't believe how bored I am with this franchise. The only non-Andor project that excites me is Dawn of the Jedi because it's completely removed from everyone else. I kind of feel the same way. It's really the only one, and we don't even know if it's necessarily even going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But outside of Andor, what's that, John?
It's supposedly moved up, so I don't know, though.
You would assume so, especially now again, because every time the guy does something outside of working with Lucasfilm, he is hitting home runs, right? Critically, you got Complete Unknown. Look what he did with Logan. Look what he did Ford versus Ferrari. I mean, he's awesome. I love James Mangold, so I'm very excited to hear, and I love his approach to what they're doing. I do think that if they stay there all the way back there, 25,000 years, and build from there and stay away from all this other shit, that's where they should build. So I kind of agree with him. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, and Mangold said that, right? That's why I'm going 25,000 years in the past, because I don't need people coming at me about the lore or the mythology or canon or anything. I want to be able to have a much more open space to work and create what I want to create. So it makes all the sense in the world. And I like that. I'm excited to see what he's going to put together if they let him do it.
Yeah, we'll see. Ewok, I'm okay with dropping Muschietti. Depending on the tone of this Batman, I wouldn't mind Michael Sarnowski for a detective thriller, Chad Stileski for an action one, or Wes Ball for adventure world building. I like that Wes Ball pick. I'll tell you, he's an underrated director.
Yeah. Some of us didn't leave him off our top 10 of the year. Some of us didn't leave Wes Ball off.
You're right. I totally forgot. I don't know how I did that. I would have definitely moved him in there. That would have been in the 10th spot. I love that movie. I really did. Yeah, completely forgot. Anyway, give me a break. I was fighting norovirus.
I know you were.
Yeah. The other thing is, by the way, I know you're a big UFC guy, so you're gonna dig, and you're classic UFC guy too. So tomorrow on Matt Sarah's podcast, we're dropping it's him and GSP.
Oh, Ooh, Georges St. Pierre.
Pretty awesome. They talked about both of their fights. They
Nice.
talk about just the fight game in general, but then they talked about Star Wars for quite a while. And then today we're recording an episode of Rampage, which is going to be fun.
Oh, Rampage Jackson. Nice.
Yeah, so Matt's got some great stuff on there. I
Hope he
highly
asked about
recommend.
the A-Team. Does he ask about the A-Team? Do you guys talk about the A-Team at all?
We haven't. I'm sure he will. We haven't recorded it yet. But when I know that he will, because when Matt was on his show, Matt was raving about how much he loved A-Team. So
I love A-Team, and I think it's a fucking crime that thing didn't get a sequel. It was such a good foursome. Yeah.
That's the same thing that Matt had essentially said to him. Mike Joyce, Roka, I'm glad I had a doink and not a double doink.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, okay, never mind. I get it. Hank Pym, Roka, thoughts on the Sun and Landman? I think he's a traitorous simp douchebag. No spoilers here, please. Also, watch Primeval, pretty good show, and glad to see Dane DeHaan. We were like going over certain shows to watch. We started watching Lioness for about 5 seconds. It got really intense. My wife was like, she's like, I want to watch this show, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for it right now. We had just stopped watching CNN, and watching the news. And so we're like, okay. So we didn't watch it. And then we actually started watching The Agency, which it's still intense, but it doesn't start you off right in the middle of a battle.
It's a much more slower burn.
Yes. And that's what we kind of figured. So Landman is another one we wanted to try also. I just don't think she's a big Billy Bob fan. So might be tough.
I haven't seen the finale. It's an hour and 20 minutes. We didn't have enough time last night. By the time I was done with the game, she likes to go to bed at 9, so we didn't have enough time. So we're watching it tonight for sure. As soon as she's done with work, we're popping that thing on and watching it. So I'll let you know more about that. My feelings down the road, because I do love Landman. It's a damn good season of television.
Here.
And the agency's good, Christian. So I'm glad you're on it.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Out of the three of those, I hear the least about it.
Yeah, be patient because it's a slow burn. It's going to be very confusing. There's multiple storylines, but it's starting to come together in most recent.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far. Miguel Zane just saw Conclave, and it's fascinating to see one of the most respected, powerful institutions on the planet in this perspective. Very riveting. Thoughts on it and the ending? Thanks. So I don't want to spoil the ending.
Yeah, you can't spoil the ending.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending, but like what I said was this: it was in my top 10. It was my number 10. It probably would have moved to honorable mentions had I remembered Kingdom of the Apes, but it was in there. The ending itself. So what I will say this: it's not the choice of what the ultimate thing is. Okay. What I don't like is how convenient it was. It was like, hey, I'm going to give a great speech. Hey, you're the person we have. That's you. And it's like, the person's brand new. It's like, what do you, it's the same thing. We're talking about Andy Muschietti. Do your research. Yeah, do some research. So there was a little too, that's why it ranks low on my list, because the ending was a little too convenient. But it's a fascinating story. The music is intense. The cinematography, it's to me the most beautifully shot movie all year. So John, you loved it.
I did. I loved it. I love the challenge of the film and what they were exploring. And as I said, I am Christian. I was once Catholic. So I like the idea that you can explore the institution and essentially move that over to be a commentary on society and how can we can be tribalistic. We can have nefarious people. We can have people that are honest about their intentions and all of that going throughout, because we're all human beings. And even in a place as revered as the Vatican, you will have people with selfish intentions. What does it all mean? And yeah, I agree with you, Kristen. The ending, a little rushed, little convenient. They seem to plant that seed throughout. And you're like, what's the payoff? Oh, that was the payoff. What I would have liked to see a stronger build to that payoff, so it would have even more of a resonant feeling once it was done. So yeah, I hear your points completely, but I like how challenging that finale was. For people who are very hardcore religious.
For sure. Okay. Let's see. Next one, Miguel follows it up and says, not that hyped about the Mando movie right now. I hope that Dawn of the Jedi starts production on this year. I want a new look for Star Wars and also for Rey moving forward. Thanks. It's amazing how most people are saying that, right? I think that that's going to be the sentiment. I think people are over this era. You get it's a clean slate, dude. You can do whatever you want to do, and there's not this, holding of saying, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not how the character is." You don't know because it's a brand new character, 25,000 years ago, and you can build up into the Old Republic, build up into the Darth Bane stuff, build up and all that. Just let it go, let it go.
It doesn't mean you can't have cool Easter eggs that are like little seeds. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Shane. Kahneman, hey Christian, have you thought about putting the full uncut video for your movie reactions up on the Patreon? Your reactions with Sam are great. So the answer is that we do that. So it is offered for members and patrons. The reason why, when you look right away and you go, there hasn't been one in a bit, because I need to hire someone. That's why. Because this is what happened. I said, because people like, hey, we need some reactions. I was like, I got you. I sat down on my computer, and what you have to do for those is you have to put a time code on it, because otherwise you still got to make little cuts on them. So there's like, if there's dead air and stuff, if there's a time I had to say, oh, I got to pause it for a second. Okay, let's pick back up. I don't want people to have to do that for them. So you got to put the time code all the way through. So it's an edit that I have to do, and it's not that much of an edit, but it's still an edit. And I sat down on my computer, I started it, I had to get up, I had to do something else, I had to do something for the family. I haven't gotten into it. So my goal is I need to get to them. And I think what we're going to wind up doing is, just when I do, I'm going to sit down for like a day. I'll probably have to take a day off from doing the live show and have like a full day where I just knock out a bunch. And then you're going to see like a whole bunch of them just pop up from the MCU ones that we did. So I would highly recommend joining both the memberships and the Patreon now if you want to see those.
There you go.
All right, John, we're at 27 with about 50 minutes left. You still got a shot here to do. We'll see. Okay, next question, and this one comes in from Mad Sinister McCall. Oh, we did that one. We did that one. Yeah, he asked that one already. Because you know what I had to do? I went back. I want to make sure that I didn't miss any from the ones. There was people who put some in there. Okay, so now the next one, actually, this one comes in from our good buddy. We haven't seen this person in quite a while, and if you feel that I am stalling looking for questions, you are accurate. No, but this is, again, we did that one already. See?
Oh boy,
perfect. Yeah, I'm doing it. No, I know what happened. I didn't want to miss the questions that were put in beforehand.
Do we need to hire someone for this?
No, not for this one. This one I got. We were able to figure this one out with the live streaming and the way that works. All right, so there you go. Here's another one. Azure Aces, John. Washington advances. Detroit is exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a game. Like, obviously, we're working with house money now. No one expected us to get this far, so this is just fun, right? If we give the Lions a game, great. That'll be great. I just want us to play well, win or lose, play well, and then we'll see what happens. But, the Lions are a very, very tough team. Great offense, great defense, and we're in Detroit. So it is going to be a very, very difficult game. But hopefully we acquit ourselves well. We'll see what happens.
Dennis Hoffman. Besides the weak writing of Ahsoka, the volume made it feel cheap. I hope season 2 shoots part of location or actual sets. Don't count on it. I think they've gotten too dependent on it, but I agree with you that it looks too much like I loved what they did. Was it Mandalorian season 1 or 2? I think it was season 2 when the Robert Rodriguez episode with Boba Fett in it, when they used location plus the volume. That was the best the show looked.
Yeah,
do both. It's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive to shoot on location, but it looks better. Look at the way the House of the Dragon season 1 did it. Do it like that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, because I think that they're too reliant on the damn thing. Okay. Has Row 24. Which of these would you like to see remade? Cutthroat Island, Battlefield Earth, or Cocoon? Cocoon doesn't fit into that. Cocoon's a good movie. Also, Paul Giamatti should be cast to reprise T'Challa. That's an inside joke. Motherfucking Wakanda.
I'm not lying to you. We're doing Sideways right now on the Cinephile, so I am like engrossed in Paul Giamatti, and thinking of him as Black Panther is hilarious.
I would say Cocoon because it's the only good movie out of the three of those.
The spirit realm.
Yeah. Right. True.
Yeah, Cocoon, I guess. Cocoon is the answer because that's such a great film.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look, I always do say that I think that movies need to be remade that weren't good. So I just don't know if Battlefield Earth had any redeeming qualities to it.
It's a Scientology film too, so I don't know if you want to open that can of worms nowadays. So
yeah, so she said that Battlefield Earth was so bad I punched my roommate in the face and he apologized. All right, so let's see. Daynapper, can you go a little into how you get your scoops? Are you meeting at parking garages for handoffs or just vague text and trust that builds over time? The latter. Yeah. It's like, it's one of those things that just people like, you gotta remember, I've been doing this for a while now. Yeah. So Sometimes you get information that's BS, and you I don't know, but then you get other ones that pan out. And you know where people are from and do, and you okay, that makes sense to me. So that's why, because I normally don't do that.
No, I know
it's
not your stock and trade for sure.
It's not, and I even
wrong when you
that's what I only do them when and like I said, like the Cal Kestis thing, there was a part where Cal Kestis was up for doing a he was going to be in the series. I mean, in his own, he was going to have his own series, but then they said he's going to be in something else now, but they're still going to use him for something that, as you say, many times over, things change as far as plans go with overall plans in general. The Young Avengers thing was something we had heard here, and that was that it's going to be a TV show, which I'm so glad about. But yeah, so that's usually how it happens. Screwface John, what up, buddy?
Hey,
I love you, man. But saying the mainstream wasn't aware of the Ezra Miller drama as the movie world is a little insane. I'm telling you, dude. You if you go to most people, and there are some people who were aware of it. I'm not saying that everybody was, but I love you too, Screwface John. You're wrong. I was walking my daughter to school during all of it, the height of it. Yeah. And I said, let me ask you a question to my daughter's friend's dad, who was, and this is in LA.
Yeah.
I said, let me ask you a question. He's a movie guy. And I said, are you interested in The Flash? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Is that one of the superhero movie? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, no. I go, how come? He's like, no. I go, does that have anything to do with Ezra Miller? He goes, who's Ezra Miller? Right. Had no clue. In the height of it. I remember then going to New York and having that same conversation with people because of what Screwface just said. And I was like, is because we had this conversation on the air many times. And I'm like, I wonder if people know. Nobody knew. Now, people did know about the Jonathan Majors thing for sure. That became a little bit more mainstream than most. But even that wasn't as much as like, when like everybody knew about freaking Johnny Depp and Amber Heard when all that shit was going down, right? It became like a circus. And Jonathan Majors started to become that with the way that it was being covered. But I thoroughly disagree. I don't think that it was as big of a story outside of the entertainment industry. And you said your mom knew, right? Her son is in the entertainment industry, so she probably pays attention to it in the same way that my mom, I don't know, my mom has no clue who Ezra Miller is.
Yeah.
So where do you stand on that?
No, I don't. I think if the movie had been good, it wouldn't have mattered a damn bit. That's what I think. I think most people don't give a crap about that kind of stuff, because they don't pay attention to all the Hollywood. So they already think Hollywood people are full of depraved individuals anyway. They just want to see a good movie, right? And so if the movie had been good, I think the people would have come out in droves to patronize the film.
Matt Sinister McCall, Beth Snyder. Hey, Gen Z, Blazing Saddles Part 2. Yeah, that'll go over. That'll go over like a fart in an elevator in today's world. No way.
Where the white women at? Yeah.
I love that freaking movie. Renetta W. Hey guys, Kristian, I saw Mufasa this past weekend. You were right. That song that Mad Mickelson sung was ridiculous. I straight up laughed because I remembered what you said. Lin-Manuel is having some misses with the music. I mean, what else has he missed with besides this?
Well, a lot of people didn't like that song in Little Mermaid, the Scuttlebutt song that she sings.
Right.
I didn't think it was that bad, but
I didn't mind it too much. Did you? But sometimes that style just doesn't work with certain things, right? But this wasn't necessarily that style, though. Did you see the movie yet?
Not yet. No, I'll go.
When you go, I'm like, people have been, goofing with me on it at this point. Not at me, but with me is the fact that
I saw the clip of the one singing about my brother.
Everybody's been talking about that one, like, because my brother, and then my brother, and then my brother. That one's been going around. But no, this one, I'm surprised this one's not going around more, because I think it's not the song itself. It's the fact of who's singing it, the main villain. He's like, and then after I kill you, I'll say bye-bye. Cut it out. No one's going to take you serious. Bye-bye. Eat a dick. All right. Azor Aces. Would you guys pick? Who would you prefer to direct Batman? I'll tell you, I like that. I like that Wes Ball pick.
Matt Reeves.
You think I don't know, man. I'm so back and forth and flip-floppy on that whole topic. The DCU thing.
Because Muschietti came out and said in the same interview, like, oh no, it's James Gunn's Batman's going to be different. But then here's Horowitz with him, and He's like, well, we got to take a look at it if it makes sense. So to me, that's not a no. They've been thinking about it. They're talking about it.
I don't think he wants to do it.
I don't think he wants to do it.
No, I don't think. I think that's I said you read behind the lines. Yeah, you read behind the lines on that. He's like, yeah, they keep bringing it up to me, and I keep trying to say, hey, what about Andy Muschietti's movie? Darren Wright, Commanders are winning it all.
No. We have a rookie quarterback. We have a leaky defense against the run. There's no way we're winning it all. We're just happy to be this far.
I hate to say this. As much as you guys are in the same division that we're rivals, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I just really know how much it mean to you and Ellis. I kind of hope it happens.
Your boy Malik Neighbors was in the stands last night cheering us on. That was weird.
I kind of hope it happens. I've never really hated them. I just, it's just because they're in the same division, and not like the Cowboys.
Well, because we haven't been good in 30 years.
That's true.
Hate us for.
That's true. Day Napper, I know we're going through a bad Star Wars phase, but have you tried Empire Strikes Back? How recently have you watched any of the original 3? Well, I haven't watched the original 3 in a while, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't think Samantha has seen any of them.
Oh, so you want to wait? Gotcha.
She is almost begging me not. She doesn't want me to make her watch those, and she doesn't want me to make her watch Lord of the Rings. She feels like she's going to hate them.
Sam, I'm with you, Sam, on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, she goes, I can't. She's like, please don't make me watch those. But we have like 30 movies to go with MCU, so she's gonna be busy for a while. But like, she lied to me the other day, which is hilarious. That I know for a fact she hasn't watched Lord of the Rings. So I asked her, I said, how many of these movies have you seen? And I sent her a list, and she sent me back a bunch. And one of the ones that she said she saw was Lord of the Rings. And I say, you liar, you didn't see Lord of the Rings. She's like, I was hoping to trick you. She really doesn't want to watch that, and she really doesn't want to watch Star Wars. So Empire Strikes Back would be great to watch with her, but yeah, she doesn't think she would like them. Yeah, Ronetta, the movie was okay, not great. Talking about Mufasa. Sonic 3 was definitely more enjoyable. Mufasa looked beautiful, though. A lot of it did. The ending was Scar. No, yeah. Story could have been better. Agreed. Still love Barry Jenkins. Bad day at the office. Agreed. Look here. Barry Jenkins was already coming out, talking beforehand, saying he would never do a movie like this again.
Yep.
You won't blame it on anybody.
Nope.
He was just saying, I don't know, just the big budget stuff and everything. Well, it wasn't for him. I
like getting my hands in on with the actors. I like manipulating or controlling the performance or molding the performance. He made it very clear his approach and didn't say it was the fans who didn't like the Mufasa.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I found out that the people don't like the character of Mufasa. Oh, okay. Mike Joyce, Oscar nominations voted delayed again. Yeah, Grammys announced they aren't delaying February 2nd show. Should they delay all the award shows? We discussed it earlier. I guess probably came in before him. Yes, they should delay everything. Nobody. John said it brilliantly. Nobody cares.
Really,
right now, nobody cares about your awards and whether you got an award about something.
It's because it's a little bit of a weak year for the movies, Chris. I think even more so. People are like, whatever.
I'm worried about people are finding their loved ones not making it out of houses. I'm going to worry about whether you won best wardrobe. No one cares. Darren Leslie Jr. Hey. Any tips from both of you on starting a second YouTube channel? It depends. What I will tell you is on a second YouTube channel, you got to make sure it's significantly different. Well, it depends on what it is, right? Like I've got right now on my own, I have 3. I'm managing 5. that's the problem I'm doing because I manage Matt Sarah's YouTube channel. I am now producer of Katie Sackhoff's Clips channel. So I have my own Clips channel that I do, and then I have my UAP channel. What I will tell you is when you manage it, is make sure there's just like any other channel, consistency, but make sure that it's significantly different than the other stuff you're doing. And even if it is somewhat similar, as where like my Clips channel are similar, but when you go there, that it's a Clips channel for my interviews, right? When you go to my UAP channel, it's a UAP based channel. So make sure that your audience knows what it is. If you put a whole bunch of different things on your channel, this used to be you just have a channel, you put whatever is on there. Doesn't work like that anymore. You can't do that. You got to. So if you have a movie based show, put movie based stuff on your show. If you got a sports thing, make a sports channel. You got a wrestling thing, make a wrestling channel. Do all these different things because that's where the algorithm starts to push it. You put too much on, your channel, and the audience is the YouTube algorithm will not favor it because I go, that's not what they're here for.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's see. So that's what I would say. John, you got any advice? You've started other channels.
All I'd say is consistency. That's where it's really important. At least put up one video every other day, if not a video up every day. And it can be daunting, but if you keep it to 5 to 7 minutes, that's the consistency thing you can hammer out and take a couple hours. And it's going to be a lot of work. Trust me, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work. So make sure you have the time.
Renetta W. As a dark-skinned woman, I love Cynthia Erivo, but no to Storm. I can picture Jodie, though. Halle Berry was always a miscast as Storm. They need to get that casting right this time around. Have a good day, guys. Back to work. Agreed. You know what's funny is, and this is one of those things, every single person that I've asked, no one has said, yeah, she's perfect. Winston was not on board. You're not on board. Coy's not on board. Nobody was on board for that. She's on board, but sure. I don't think she's the right choice. But Jodie Turner-Smith is interesting.
Yeah,
but it also depends on, because I think you guys reported on the fact that Sadie Sink was Jean Grey, right?
Yeah, that's what Jeff broke on the show. Yeah,
so it seems like they're going young.
Yeah, right, exactly. Unless they're going to make Storm, because remember, the idea is they're already established,
right?
So they could make Storm like one of the leaders of the team, so she could be older. But I don't think Cynthia is the choice.
Cynthia's like 38, so that's significantly older. I mean, still a young woman, but still compared to Sadie Sink, who's what, 23?
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Mm-hmm.
This is Michael Miles.
Hey.
Unpopular opinion. Dave Filoni's Star Wars content is nothing more than glorified fan fiction, not even good fan fiction, which is why it doesn't appeal to anyone outside the Star Wars bubble. He needs to stick to animation. Let me rephrase that statement. Miles says, here's Christian's opinion. Dave Filoni's Star Wars content is nothing more than glorified fan content and not even good fan fiction. Why doesn't it appeal to anyone outside of Star Wars bubble? He needs to stick to animation. I think I've been saying that for the last 6 months. So I don't think it's an unpopular opinion anymore. I really don't. I look, another guy, hear nothing but great things about what a great guy he is. I've talked to him before. I interviewed him before. Sweet guy, good guy, nice guy, cares about Star Wars. Not working as far as being the guy in film and TV, and that's okay. It didn't work.
Yeah.
You've heard the same things, right? He gets too much involvement, right?
Yeah. The notes he's given regress this stuff for teenagers, for 14-year-olds, and I don't think that's working. And I think in the end, you're just messing with the formula, and people aren't receiving it really well. And you're coming out with these Frankenstein type shows. I think The Acolyte was very much not what Leslie wanted to do. And I think it was much more Filoni coming in and messing with what Leslie wanted to do, to shave off the edges and make it softer and make it more like, and that's the fucking thing that kills it, honestly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you too. All right, let's go to the next one here. And this is from Sheev Palpatine.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but they shouldn't cast more than 2 Marvel actors to star together in other films or TV shows. It's just super distracting and takes me completely out of the film.
Thank you, Sheev.
I don't know what that means.
I think that, like Downey, basically is saying he's more than 2 Marvel actors to star together in another film. It's like, or Chris Evans and do that. I think it. I like when they take people outside and make. I agree with you, Sheev. I think they're brand new people. I think that I love Downey. They could have cast somebody else to play.
100%.
Easily. John Castle, Spilotopoulos. Hey guys, Roka, I love you, but I don't today because I am a huge Buccaneers fan, so I don't need to say more. Great game, brother, and wow, Daniels is the real deal. Good luck, brother, for the rest of the playoffs. Respond.
Thank you. Very kind of you, and feel free not to love me today. I'm used to it all the time. And the Buccaneers, look, they had an up and down year, but they won that division. Baker is still a damn good quarterback, but Baker's going to always make a mistake, and he did on that handoff, and that's what ended up turning the game. And then that snap count, which I don't know if that was the center's fault or Baker's fault, right there on that right was there ready to score a touchdown, that cost him the game. And yeah, Daniels feels like the real deal, but it's still the first season, so we'll see.
We're at 36 right now, John. 36
Right.
with a half an hour left if we get to it. Francisco Lopez. When Hulk Hogan got booed, all I could think of was Harvey Dent's quotes from The Dark Knight. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It was crazy. Like, it's funny because people kept talking about was it politics? And he blamed it on politics. I think it was a mixture of a shit soup is what it was. There was so much involved. Being in LA and being as political as he's been lately, probably not sorry. The best choice to decide to debut him. Promoting your beer in the way that you did was it was so bad. Like the timing of it, he's getting booed to smithereens, and then this like commercial that he does, booed to smithereens. All the racist shit that he said over the course of however long it's been, and other things that he's done, and the fact that the amount of social media clips that have come out about other wrestlers talking about how he's buried them over the years and the lies that he's told. It's like people are just like, enough. Who cares? I don't look. It was sad to see. John and I both growing up, like Hulk Hogan was the guy. Absolutely. No one's taking away what he's done, what he did for the business. No one is, and that's what the comment said. You get there and you're just like, oh, to see that happen to that guy. John, what do you think about the reports they're going to bring him back to play a villain now?
It's stupid and dumb, and it's not going to work because you're trying to take the narrative, a real narrative of him being a villain.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, what are you going to do? Like, let him say racist shit to people? Like, is that what you're going to do? Because if you're going to come back and bring him a villain, you've got to really lean into why he's a villain. Yeah, I went off on my Twitter about it and just said, like, or X, whatever you want to call it. It just said I leaned in the politics thing, but of course there's a million other reasons that have all cumulative over the years that have just combined to be why people hate Hulk Hogan. And yeah, you're right. All these wrestlers talking about him, and he's done nothing to combat it. That's really the big thing. He hasn't gone on an apology tour. Mark Henry talked about it over the last few days. He offered Hogan an apology tour where he would go to black colleges and apologize for what he did, listen to black students about how he portrayed black people using the N-word, these kind of things. And Hogan refused. Right. And so that's a dick move. And then the whole idea of his real American, the stupid idea of real American. Right. It's so fucking dumb. And so
he's also living in a different time where like that's not that doesn't play the way that it did in 1985. Exactly. And you also look at the way that like with that Mark Henry thing where Hogan always thinks he knows the answer. Like you go back to that documentary when Vince was like, don't go on Arsenio Hall. And if you do, then tell the truth. Right. And tell him that you did use steroids. But what does he do? He says, I never used steroids. And he's like, oh, it's probably a bad move at the time. He always makes the guy does not make good decisions.
The Jesse Ventura, the union thing. Like there's so much.
Yeah, so much. Right, this one's going to get Roka going. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
DUI champ, Mighty Roka. Don't trust Harloff about the super chat score. He's a sneaky bastard. On his other shows, he's speeding through the chats like Micro Machines guy offering scoops and sandwiches. BS. Sandwiches. They offer a sandwich. They should offer sandwiches.
No, I always tell him he'll never listen to me because it financially makes sense for him not to listen to me. But if I do better as solo versus what two people do, I should get rewarded. But it's the game.
Oh, John's gone. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he left. All right. Retro Rebels just recently got promoted in jiu-jitsu to be invited by the great Matt Serra. What an honor. Kristian, can't wait to hear about your first class and how you liked it. Roka, hey, good looking. Look at that. Retro Rebels likes you. Yeah, it's funny. I ran into this guy at the bagel store over the weekend. And he had a George St. Pierre sweatshirt on. So I went up to him and I said, and I told him we got George on the show, and he actually recognized me from Collider, and we started talking a little bit, and I was like, I gotta get into that freaking studio because I gotta get into Matt's studio. I want to take at least one lesson to see if I like it. I'm gonna be gassed within the second I put the gi on. I mean, dude, I'm so out of shape. It's ridiculous.
You're gonna get hurt. Don't do this. Just relax.
I know. Well, he says I won't, but I don't know if I believe anybody. Francisco Lopez. I watched The Winter Soldier. Man, this film is so good. It reminds me why The Winter Soldier is still the best of my favorite MCU movies. I loved rewatching it. I've seen it so many times, and I love rewatching it. Really loved watching it with Sam because she was going through all the emotions. It was great. Yeah.
I think it's still top 5 for me. I think.
Yep. P. Parker 2288. I'm the one guy that liked Jurassic World Dominion, I think.
No,
better
you were
than
RB3.
Did he really like that? RB3's got some taste. I saw him.
Taste,
I saw him posting that he loved Mufasa. I think he loved it better than Sonic, whatever, too. But like, no. Thanks to Jaden, I won my parlay last night. Let's go Vikings.
Hey,
there you go.
Yeah, they play tonight. Right, that's right.
Go Giants. All right, Carlton Rudder, London calling. What's up, Carlton? I have no idea what you guys are talking about as I just tuned in. I will watch tomorrow. Respected love to both of you as always. Carlton's the best. Carlton, we'll see you on the Q&A. We're doing Q&A, by the way. Soon. I think it's tomorrow. Not Q&A tomorrow. Tomorrow is our live stream. We're doing a live stream on both Patreon and the membership. We do 2 exclusive live streams for members. At a certain tier, you can join in and be part of it. And then every member and every patron can be part of the chat and be part of the conversation. Chips Bewick. What's up, Chips? What's up, fella? Great name. Great name, Chips. Love that. What's up, fellas? Love your shows. How big of a hit does Dawn of Jedi have to be to provoke more movies for the love of Lucas? Reboot Star Wars? It's so funny. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but that was what GSP actually suggested on the Sarah show, that they should just reboot the whole thing and remake the originals and all that stuff too. I don't think they'll be able to do that. I didn't chime in. I let the 2 of them, but I would have pushed back on that. I think they're too deep in the hole to do that. But as far as Chip's question here about Dawn of Jedi, it depends on the budget, man. It always depends on the budget, and it depends on the critical. If it's one of these things where it gets everybody back on board, then we'll see. But I think it's got to be critically. Fans got to be on board with it, and it's got to make money enough show what the budget is.
Ask Sarah and GSP if they want UFC to just wipe out all the records and start all over again and remove all the shit. That's essentially what you're asking to do. But no, I think Dawn of the Jedi, if it even happens, has to be a big hit because they haven't had a lot of big hits film wise. So if that's a 1-2, if Mando Grogu comes out and then Dawn of Jedi comes out and those are both hits, then you got a little bit of a streak and confidence comes back to Star Wars. So I think that's where they're looking at, is like, let's build the confidence back in terms of the theatrical stuff, and then we'll go from there. So I think it has to be a pretty big hit.
All right, Pete Parker, 2288. You will love Landman, Christian. Also, the actress who plays the lawyer is so good and gorgeous. She's your type, Roka? Better than Robert? Stop that. So who's the lawyer?
I think she's a Latina actress, but she's a series regular on a number of shows. She's a Canadian actress, and she is absolutely a firebrand on the show. And Ali Larder is great as well as his ex-wife. Yeah, she's great. His daughter is good too, but Ali Larder is the thing. Ooh.
Albert Glowacki, Dan Stevens for Batman. I don't think I'm coming back from my my Batman pick now. Yeah. Because once it was suggested, it wasn't mine, but but I disagree with it. It's Brendan Sklenar from 1923. And there's like a big push for him now. I'm part of that movement. I think he's the guy.
I like it.
DUI champ. Michael Keaton's reintroduction into the Flash pissed me off. Being tossed around his kitchen in one flip-flop BS. Batman should have had those 2 idiots locked down with ease. One flip-flop my Irish ass. I guess I get it. I didn't mind that scene, but when you break it down like that, I kind of understand what you're talking about. Yeah. Good point. Darren Wright. John, you doing a Raw watch along again tonight?
No, that was just for the opening of Netflix. So no, I won't be doing a watch long because I want to watch the playoff game tonight, the Vikings and stuff. So, but I might start doing reviews. We'll see.
You know who's getting into wrestling, and I put them onto Monday Night Raw last night? Kate Mulligan and her kid.
Oh,
it's so adorable. They were sending me videos and like they were watching because they've been watching like old videos and stuff, and like they were going back and forth. Like she's sending me wrestlers of who her kids' favorite wrestlers are. And I'm like, Brock Lesnar, he's not even around anymore. And like, and she's like going into this and talking about these matches. And I'm like, what are you guys watching, old like YouTube clips? And she's like, yeah. And I go, you guys should watch like Raw now. She's like, where's that? I go, Netflix. And so they started watching Netflix last night, and she was sending me video, and it was absolutely adorable. So hopefully get more there. Jim 1, thoughts on Cap 4 tracking at 85 to 95. Is that good or bad? Well, it's tough to say, man, because the movie itself, you're never getting a real number on that budget. It's probably closer to like $400 million. So, and even they did $200 million opening weekend. It's still that movie's more so just like, okay, let's put as much back into it and get some public, support more so than anything else. But 95 for a Marvel movie, I don't know. It's okay. What do you think, John?
I know it's just kind of a dangerous number, 85 to 95. Yeah. It's not bad, but it's not great. So it's kind of like a C plus. And so you would hope for something bigger, but I think it's all going to depend on if once the reviews start coming out, and if the reviews are really strong, then I think the number will go up. People are just waiting to see if it's good or not. If it is good, then people will go see it, I think, in large numbers.
Francisco Lopez, hey, have you guys seen Bookie? It's a good comedy show. Kristian, your boy Sebastian is on the show. Also, The Pit is a good show. I didn't know what The Pit is, but yeah, I've seen a little bit of Bookie, and my dad actually just called me about it. And he's like, "Did you see? Have you seen The Bookie?" I watched the first season, and I guess the second season's out now. I'm very happy for Sebastian. That's I've for what I saw, I liked it. I didn't really get into the whole thing.
It's a great show.
Oh, you watched?
They're 20-minute episodes. Like you're in and out. Like it's really great to watch. And yeah, I'm in the middle. We're caught up on the second season.
Okay.
I had no idea who Sebastian Maniscalco was. No clue.
Really?
Stand up. Haven't seen him on any show or any movie.
Wow.
I know he had that movie with De Niro or something.
Yeah.
So I know people were talking about him, but I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know. It's one of these Italian comedies. And then I saw the show, and I'm like, this is great. And he's got great chemistry with his co-actor there, the black guy. They have great chemistry together.
Have you ever watched his stand-up?
I'd never seen the stand-up. No idea.
You would love it. You would love his stand-up. But he's like the old school bit that he used to do that I loved was, and he used to do it in the Comedy Store all the time. And he would just like, you ever go into the Starbucks and there's a guy on the line? He goes, I want a frappuccino, cream on top. Go, you get a black coffee and you go to work. That and the Ross Dress for Less and Chipotle. He's got some great stuff. So
I should catch up because I really enjoy it.
Definitely. You would love his stand-up. You would love his stand-up.
Some nice adjacent, which I like.
Yeah, for sure. It's a me, Steve. Chances Commanders upset the Lions. Also, fly Eagles fly. Stop that.
Yeah, Eagles. Ugh.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. Zero chance we upset the Lions. No, 5%. If Jared Goff gets hurt in the first quarter, I guess.
Put a couple grand on it.
They have a lot of great players. Yeah. So yeah.
Day Napper. You ever think about how a frequent time traveler keeps track of their age? Oh, the Via kicked in. Good. Love to hear that. Yeah, I know. I want to see. Look, I'm telling you, there's more to this time traveling stuff. More to consciousness. I'm telling you, there's more to it. Xander man, still waiting for Roka's arcane reactions. Yeah, what are you doing up?
No, I know.
Nothing yet.
Probably this month. I got a meeting tomorrow with the editor, so tomorrow.
All right. Julius Wyatt. Rams or the Vikings tonight. Also, I need Lord of the Rings cinephile.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. But we've talked about it, though. I think Vikings will upset the Rams tonight. I really do.
Yep. Let's see. Next one. Screwface John, the Hogan boos weren't political. Undertaker was cheered and he had Trump on his podcast. Yeah, I know, but there's a lot more to having someone on your podcast than being out there at the Republican convention and dancing around. Yeah, there's a huge difference. I think the racism has way more to do with that. I don't disagree with.
Yes.
That I don't disagree with. And the other shit that he's done. But I think that as I said, there was a soup to it. And I think part of it was out there because the Undertaker's just having someone on their podcast and having a conversation with someone.
Yeah. You can't say go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, no, but he's having the guy on his show. He made his political views clear where he stands as far as a political thing, but he's not out there as a voice saying that he was, and he was also saying things politically. Hogan was about things that were just completely insensitive, and also playing, I guess, into the racism with Kamala and other things that he was saying. That it was the stuff that he was saying. Having someone on your podcast and talking to them about it, if you boo that person, that's just. That is the world we live in. I'm surprised in LA that Undertaker didn't, but it also shows you the difference in how much they love him as opposed to all the stupid shit Hogan has said in general.
Well, there's a lot of things affecting. I don't think you can say it wasn't political. I think you can say it wasn't just political, but you can't say it wasn't political at all.
Right.
I'm sure that's an element to it, of course. A lot of Latinos were there that night as well, and so I think they were booing some of it because you're essentially saying it's okay to say some of the stuff that Trump has said about Latinos in the past. But I think with Taker, it's different. Taker was on a motorcycle, went around the ring, gave Rhea her flowers, which a lot of people love, Rhea Ripley, and then rolled off. He didn't stand and do a promo to promote his All-American or his Real American Beer. There's a difference here. And the other side of it, too, with Undertaker is that, yes, he had him on the show, but it's not like Undertaker's podcast has like 700 million views. You know, it's a smaller podcast. Yes, people listen. People inside the bubble of pro wrestling listen to it, but it's not that big of a deal. And look, Triple H and Stephanie were at Mar-a-Lago for New Year's Eve. But not a lot of those people in that stadium probably knew that. So I think it's a combination of all those.
But again,
things.
John, it's different. But it's
RNC.
Yeah,
Hogan
but still, yes, and it's different though. It's different from being someone who has a political views that look. I hang out with people who are
right.
If again, having someone on your podcast, going to someone's thing, whatever, it's the statements that you make.
Yes, 100%.
That put you in hot water. That's the difference.
The ripping of the shirt that went viral. Okay, at the RNC, that made him the point person.
Yeah. So yeah, Pete Parker 2288. Well, Mike get his Twitter back this week. I don't know. You know he got banned, right, Mike?
Again?
I mean, yeah, he got banned again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, you know, he told somebody to jump off a bridge or something.
Yeah, that's what he did last time. Did he do it again?
Yes, he did it again. Retro Rebels. Fellas, let's talk RoboCop. After 2 sequels, a remake, and a recent 2023 PS5 game, what makes the character endure after all these years? It's a cool fucking character. Yeah. Guys agree with the score for the first film? Love you guys. I love the score. Love the score. It's great. I think that there was supposed to be a TV show or something. I want to see an A24 version of it. I think was that something that was rumored? I don't know. Yeah, but I want to see something. Yeah, I want to see something like that. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, the remake wasn't that great. There were some good moments where it wasn't that great. The sequel's not that great, but the first movie was classic, man. And so 92% on Rotten Tomatoes makes all the sense in the world in terms of the score. And it's a political film. So there's a lot going on with that film beyond the overall surface stuff that's happening there. Great Peter Weller performance and iconic performance of my boy melting as he walks in, tries to talk to that dude.
The best. Darren Wright. I will love seeing you guys as 70-year-olds reacting to the Star Wars reboots. Yeah, I know. Well, you know what you're gonna. We'll be 70 reacting to the next one when it comes out in the theater. Whenever that is.
Right. Hashtag not my Luke.
Jim 1. Did you ask GP about Falcon and Winter Soldier? Yeah. Well, I didn't interview him. It was Matt. Matt interviewed him, and he did. They talked about it briefly though, but they did talk about that one. I felt they wasted his talents by not having this character, Batroc, have a physical fight with Sam. I can't remember, and I didn't want to ask Matt to ask because I couldn't remember. Did he die in that series?
Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
I think he was part of a thing that blew up, but I don't know that he necessarily died.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was in the building that blew up, but I don't think he necessarily died.
Ryan Beckendorf was watching some old content over the weekend. Arnold, Alf, and Tony Danza was peak comedy. Eating is not cheating. Hilarious. Eating not cheating is an actual quote. Is apparently supposedly. Which there was this big Entertainment Weekly thing where they said that, you know, when that whole thing came out about how he was cheating on Maria and everything too, and they said that there was someone who said that they walked in on him while he was going down on a woman in the trailer, and he looked up and he said, "What? Come on, eating is not cheating." Which I wouldn't be surprised. But it's so funny. It's Arnold. Yeah, I was Arnold. Alf was Ellis, and Tony Danza was Adam Ray, who's blowing up right now as Dr. Phil.
Adam Ray.
Yeah, it was. That was a lot of fun. Screwface coming back in.
Hey,
do you know the difference between? Oh, that's not Screwface. Day Napper. Do you know the difference between wallpaper and toilet paper? No. Ew, gross. Okay. Day Napper's on that via. Stephanie Litz. My Vikings lose when expected to win. Hashtag 1998 PTSD. Yeah.
That game.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Well, damn it, I forget who the quarterback was. The tall. Oh, okay, never mind. Go forward.
So it wasn't Warren Moon, was it? That was
okay. Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham was quarterback.
Randall Cunningham.
Right, right. They lost with the missed field goal. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, John, that's it.
Okay.
46 today.
All right.
Hey, it is. It is what it is. But we had almost 1,200 people watching today live. It's great. A lot of people talking about the story today, which is great. Another good news here too, that people are talking about it. So thank you. Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Breaking news, Kristian.
What do you got?
I know this is not a sports show, but Mike McCarthy out as the Dallas Cowboys coach.
Oh man,
just dropped on ESPN a few minutes ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's because Jerry Jones is going to be pursuing acting right now. So, yeah.
It was good at that.
It was. All right, John. Thanks for being here, buddy. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can always find me at The Roka Says, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and Blue Sky. And if you want to come and hang out with me on the channel, would love to have you guys come over. Give me some thoughts. Give me some points of views, your perspectives on the content I do there on the Outlaw Nation channel, youtube.com/John Roka Says. So much going on this week. Go and subscribe to us. And, of course, the Cinephiles, the Hot Mic, and the Geek Buddies, all available on podcast feeds everywhere. Thanks, Kristian. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. And if you're in California, in the fires, man, sending you much love. And if you're a first responder and you're a firefighter, thanks for doing the great work you're doing. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, John. Thank you to you guys for being here today. I had a theater reaction tonight for Wolfman, so make sure you check that out. I mentioned that Guardians thing, man. Help me support the damn channel and watch it. I know it's not going to be what you want. I understand that, but I am going to be. Let me have one more here. Jeremy Soliner for Brave and Bold. Do I know Jeremy? Jeremy Soliner. Let me look. Let me see if I know him. S-A-U-L-I-N-E-R. Do I know Jeremy? I don't know Jeremy. Who's calling me? He's calling me right now. I don't care. I'm on the air. Anyway, so I don't know Jeremy, but there we go. Thanks for being here again. Check out that Guardians thing tomorrow. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We'll be back here tomorrow. Roxy, I think, will be on the show. I have to double check with her. I have to see. Mike will actually be on tomorrow. Mike's moving from tomorrow, Thursday to tomorrow is his availability. So I hope to get Roxy and Mike on tomorrow. And that's it. We'll figure out the rest of it this week. Thank you guys so much. And that's it. Hit the like button, comment. Thank you everybody who donated here today. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.